introduce my husband in a few minutes, was each one teach one. And then the other part was boys will be boys till someone teaches them more. So it doesn't matter where we come from, it doesn't matter how we come from, it's an example. And boys can't really learn from us as women, they really can't. And so even though we're not perfect, everything that we say to our children, when you see your young nephews and your cousins and your nieces, just say, you're wonderful, you're smart, you're intelligent, you're gonna make it. And so the biggest thing is the affirmation that we give to our children, we give to ourselves. There were times that in my mind, in my heart, I was like, I'm not gonna make it this morning. But I didn't say that out my mouth. And we had to remind ourselves that, so we didn't say that in front of our son. But it was times that it probably was showing on our face and on our spirit. But the thing that of everything is that no matter what has happened, everything has been a testimony. You know, I can't explain it right now, but you know, Toya and I, we're good friends, and she's like my niece and daughter, and we work together. But we sit down and talk in deep detail. She teaches me, and I teach her.
Yeah.
So the big thing is that a lot of us maybe keep forgetting is that for us as women and men alike, we're supposed to be teaching the younger generation.
Yeah.
And that's admitting that, hey, I've messed up. I'm not perfect, I've messed up. This is the right thing to do. But in that, we can't just say this is the right thing to do, we have to show it.
Right.
And so, with me coming up the way I came up, I mean, I used to love the cuss, as I told you, I loved it, because that's how I came up. I came up around fighting, and you know, you do something to me, I'm gonna fight you, that's how I came up, I don't know anything else. So to try to teach our son Jordan something like that, it was rough. So, I'm not gonna tell too many stories, but one time Jordan is in softball, he's playing softball, and this little girl, she's real cute, she come running through, she had the little pigtail in her hair, and you know, she had the little pink helmet on, and I'm like, he just smiled, I'm like, get her, like, you know, I'm like, get her. He's like, no, Mom, I don't want to hurt her. You know, so it was the balance of how to balance that, and so that's where my husband comes in at, of like, okay, Jordan, you can't put your hands on her, but you can touch her wrist and say, slow down. You see what I'm saying? So it's the balance. And by the time you balance everything else pulls together. So we need our elders, we need the middle age, we need the young, everybody's included, even down to the smallest babies. You know what I'm saying? Because these babies are speaking wisdom into us, and they're speaking life into us. But my biggest thing is, before I introduce my husband, is this. And it's kind of blew me away a little bit, and some of you may have already known this, and some of you may not have. And I have another adopted nephew, Brandon. We talked about this, like Brandon has gone with us when we go volunteer. Like we go teach our kids to go volunteer. It doesn't matter how much money you have, it doesn't matter, somebody needs something. You can go to a nursing home, help someone to read. You can go somewhere and help someone clean their house. There's somebody needs something. So don't think that you can't, right, Apostle? Don't think that you don't have anything. Everybody got something. And so, without getting into like a tithing thing, anything that you put out, it's gonna come back in. I don't care what it is. That's just the straight truth. Anything you put out. If you put out goodness, goodness is gonna come back. And that's what it is. So when you wake up in the morning time, you gotta wake up saying, you know what? And I know y'all may not get this, but you gotta wake up and say, I'm bad to the bone. Bad to the bone. Because bad to the bone means that's right down to the very bone. You gotta speak life over yourself. And I mean bad, B-A-W. You know what I'm saying? And you gotta speak life. Does that be right, Mr. Walker? Right, you have to. And if you don't encourage yourself, no one else will encourage you. So while you're encouraging yourself, before you get out of bed, when you get out of the bed and you see your children, you go over, hello, beautiful babies. You're smart, you're intelligent. Jordan used to sing the song to Jordan, you are my sunshine. As soon as he wake up, Jordan was sleeping until 10 o'clock. I was one of those parents that had none of that trouble. He'd be sleep, he'd wake up smiling. And then when we got older, we're like, Jordan, stop smiling so much because people are gonna take advantage of you. It's not good, you know? And we had to figure out a way, how do we teach him to be who he is? To still have a kind heart, but still be strong. And it balanced out. That's all through my husband, myself, aunties, friends, and family. And that's the other thing too. We got a big thing to where we don't want anybody to say anything to our kids. If you got someone that you love and you trust and you admire, they should be able to jack the kids up.
Amen.
And if they can't, then keep your kids over there. It's not personal, keep them over there, because you can't do it by yourself. You just can't. You can't raise your children by yourself. You can't like yourself by yourself, you gotta have constructive criticism, you know? And so there were times that people would tell us, y'all too rough on Jordan. And I'm like, you ain't rough on Jordan, you too rough on Juwan. What'd you say, Auntie? I ain't too rough on Juwan. And then we realized that we were. And so my saddest thing that I want to share